Ken Jennings has admitted that hosting Jeopardy has been hard in the wake of his legendary predecessor Alex Trebek. The 49-year-old has been sharing hosting duties of the game show with Mayim Bialik, 47, since Alex's death in 2020. Ken opened up on taking the helm at Jeopardy on Thursday. He told The New Yorker, "It's a very hard job, and Alex made it look easy. So it's kind of a no-win thing. The only other person we've seen do it looked incredibly confident and graceful for 37 years, and we all loved him." He said he struggled with the speed of the show, reading the clue, calling on the contestant, and adjudicating their response. Ken said, "And you're also in a tough position. You're the referee of the game, kind of managing the players, but you're also managing the studio audience and the home audience. You're the stadium announcer, and you're the play-by-play guy in the booth." He revealed his hosting strategy is to present the game as if he were playing it as a contestant. "I'm kind of playing along in my head, like, oh, I know this one. Let's see if they know it. Hey, they do, great. We did it. We get to go again," Ken explained. "And I don't know if that's it's definitely not Alex's energy, but nobody can do what he did." Last month, Ken shared his feelings on sharing hosting duties with Mayim. He joined Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos on Live with Kelly and Mark to talk about the long-running game show. Ken speaks out. "The secret of Jeopardy is that we do like 5 in a day," Ken said. "Now that's a schedule," Kelly exclaimed. "It is pretty cushy," Ken agreed. Kelly asked Ken how the hosting split with Mayim actually works. "It's really a 50-50 split, mostly reliant on her sitcom schedule. When she was doing Call Me Kat, her time was very limited, so when she was on her sitcom, I was hosting Jeopardy, and then she would trade in." Kelly replied, "It's a nice trade-off. It's a good variety, I think, for the viewers," Ken agreed. A week later, Jeopardy's executive producer, Michael Davies, talked about the online division over who is the better host, Ken or Mayim. Michael revealed he'd seen a fairly even response in viewership, despite some harsh criticism the hosts have received online. "When Ken is hosting and Mayim is hosting, there's zero difference," he told New York Magazine's Vulture. "It's exactly the same, viewership, and that's the broadest part of the audience." Michael also explained that there isn't absolute data that shows one host's popularity over another, regardless of what internet trolls have to say. "In terms of the tiny percentage of our audience that do go on Reddit or Twitter, there are Ken fans and there are Mayim fans. There are some people who love Jeopardy and will watch both. We also have various fans who post that they don't like either of them. That's just part of the data we look at," he noted. Ken Jennings has become synonymous with Jeopardy over the years, first as the champion with the longest winning streak in the show's history and now as its co-host. Yet despite his deep connection to the iconic game show, Jennings recently opened up about the challenges he's faced in his role, acknowledging the weight of expectation and scrutiny that comes with it. During a candid interview, Jennings admitted that hosting Jeopardy is very hard and can feel like a no-win situation, especially given the legacy of his predecessor, Alex Trebek. But what truly stood out was Jennings' honest revelation of his feelings about co-host Mayim Bialik, which painted a complex picture of their professional relationship. "A host with a heavy legacy. Taking over for a legend like Alex Trebek is no small task, and Jennings has often spoken about the immense pressure that comes with the job." In this recent interview, he didn't hold back, confessing that every time he steps behind the lectern, he feels the weight of the show's history on his shoulders. "I've loved Jeopardy since I was a kid," Jennings explained. "I always wanted to be a part of it, but now that I'm hosting, it's so much harder than I ever imagined. You can't replace Alex, you can only hope to live up to the standard he set." Jennings' acknowledgement of Trebek's shadow shows how aware he is of the show's legacy, but also how that legacy can create an almost impossible standard to meet. "No matter what I do, there are going to be people who think I'm not good enough," Jennings added, describing the hosting gig as a no-win situation. Fans have often divided themselves into factions, some favoring Jennings for his deep trivia knowledge and connection to the show, while others advocate for Bialik, who brings a different kind of charm and poise to the role. Navigating the co-host dynamic. Jennings' relationship with Bialik has been a hot topic of discussion since the announcement that the two would share hosting duties. While some speculated that there may be tension between the two, Jennings' recent comments shed some light on how he truly feels about his co-host. "Mayim is incredible," he stated firmly, putting to rest any rumors of bad blood. "She's brilliant, funny, and brings a unique perspective to the show. But it's hard because we both approach the job so differently." Jennings went on to admit that the shared hosting arrangement has created some challenges, particularly when it comes to fan expectations. "Mayim and I are very different people," he said. "And that's not a bad thing. She's an actress, a neuroscientist, she's got this incredible resume. I'm a trivia guy who loves the game. We complement each other, but at the same time, it's difficult to satisfy everyone when you're two very different hosts." The no-win hosting dilemma. Jennings' description of hosting Jeopardy as a no-win situation stems largely from the divided fanbase. "There are people who only want to see Mayim, and there are people who only want to see me," he acknowledged. "So, no matter who's behind the podium, there's always going to be a segment of the audience that's unhappy. It's hard to please everyone, and that can make the job feel impossible at times." This divisiveness has only heightened since Trebek's passing, with viewers constantly comparing both Jennings and Bialik to the late host. Jennings admits that this comparison can feel overwhelming. "It's tough because Alex was irreplaceable. Mayim and I are not trying to be him, but sometimes it feels like that's what people want from us. We're both just trying to honor the show's legacy in our own way, and that's not easy when every move you make is scrutinized." Balancing respect for tradition with change. Jennings also touched on how he and Bialik have different approaches to hosting. "I try to keep things focused on the game. I love the strategy, the trivia, the contestants. Mayim brings more of a conversational style, which some people really enjoy. It's great because it gives the show different flavors, but it's also tricky because those differences can divide the audience." However, Jennings was quick to emphasize that the differences in their hosting styles don't equate to rivalry. "There's no competition between us," he clarified. "We both want Jeopardy to succeed. That's the goal, and we're in it together." But the reality.